getting into, kind of institutional architecture and stuff, pull up Boston City Hall. And this building has a little bit of it. There's a type of architecture called brutal architecture, and
Sounds
which is
fun. Oh wow!
And that is brutal architecture. Okay, and
I've seen some of that around here.
And brutal architecture is basically these. Basically the tragedy here is, and you can see Faneuil Hall. In the distance to the right, over to the right over there in the right corner, that's Faneuil Hall, right? That's a classical, building. And Boston City Hall, they tore down the most historic part of Boston to build that.
Yeah, Austin just had it up.
And when I was in North Bennett Street, that was Government Center. I took the train into Government Center and walked from Government Center through Faneuil Hall over to North Bennett Street. And it was just, it's all brick and concrete. And it's so uninviting. It's so uninspiring, and they've talked about tearing this building down for years.
They should.
But brutal architecture, compare this to UVA campus, right? And so if we consider, we're kind of diving into classicism versus modernism, but there is a rationality and there is a human quality to this that is lost with brutalism and some of this modern architecture.
Wow.
On that Boston City Hall, it's really strange. If you're like standing in there and looking out the window, your view is completely obstructed by those like walls.
Yeah, the wall.
What the heck is that?
It's like blinders on a horse. Outside a window.
Get to work. Don't look out the window.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's apparently a pretty depressing thing, and apparently leaks quite a bit too. A lot of famous modern buildings leak because they have flat roofs.
The flat roof concept is crazy. Like when you think about, sorry, I know we're off the train of Thomas Jefferson, but when you think about an A-framed roof, or when you think about like all the curved roofs, like a pinnacle roof, like there's historical context behind it. Like it helps not leak.
Well, I think one reason why modern architects like the flat roof because it isn't traditional.
Right.
Right. It
sets them apart easily.
It's a rebellious teenager. Well, I'm going to be different. It's like, okay, but you're going to look like a goth kid when you're done with it.
or your roof's going to leak.
Yeah.
There's all these traditions behind steep pitched roofs, which were built and designed to handle snow load. And the reason that English roofs are steeply pitched is because they had to deal with snow. And you go down to Tuscany or down in the Mediterranean, all the roofs are much flatter or much less of a pitch. They don't have the snow loads, right? They don't have the same requirements.
Yeah.
And then when you get into this modern era, they begin to have flat roofs,
and that's partially as a consequence of like concrete just being able to handle snow and other stuff like that, or
change in building materials, but also change in attitude about what a building should look like.